children there today are going to carry the scars of yesterday. And as they grow, we will need to continue to support them and their parents and their community. All the first responders, the remarkable work of many teachers, the unsung heroes, the paramedics, Dustin, the fire chief, and his crew that was right front and center. The RCMP responded within 2 minutes of the call. Their efforts helped save so many lives, and I'm so grateful for the leadership of Sergeant Bill Hughes, who's the unit commander here, Constable Kohut, Constable Tyler Noon, Constable Nick Gatcher, and their leadership, Superintendent Ken Floyd, and Deputy Commissioner Dwayne McDonald. These men and women in uniform serving the RCMP each and every day in small communities and large cities protect us in unimaginable ways while sacrificing their own mental health and their own well-being. We're all better off for their service. In closing, as the days and hours and weeks pass, our commitment to this community of Tumbler Ridge is to make sure that we're here for them. We may be far, but as a country, we're here for them. We will always be with them. It's not in memorial, but in solidarity. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Nina Krieger, BC's Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General. We gather here this evening in sorrow and in shared heartbreak. Yesterday, here in Tumbler Ridge, the acts of violence have shaken this community to its core. It's shaken British Columbia, Canada, and the entire world. The loss that this community has suffered is simply immeasurable. Among the losses was an educator doing one of the most important jobs in our society. Young students who had their entire lives ahead of them, and members of a family who should have been safe in their homes. To the families who are grieving, to the students who witnessed what no child should ever see, to the teachers and school staff who acted with thank you. In times of great darkness, we also witness extraordinary acts of bravery. As we've heard, police arrived within minutes and ran towards uncertainty with courage beyond measure. Paramedics, firefighters, and health professionals worked with urgency and compassion, focused on preserving life. We saw courage in quieter forms as well. Neighbors opening their doors, strangers offering comfort, families holding each other close. And the worst, when the unthinkable unfolded, we also saw the very best in people. Bravery, passion, and professionalism in the face of horror. That is the character of this community, of this country, and of this province. We recognize that people are grieving. There will be questions. There will be anger. But there is also compassion and resolve. Compassion in how we look after one another, resolve in how we protect our children and support our families. And we know that that resolve must be matched by action, and we are ensuring that every available resource is being mobilized to support this community. We have been and will continue to work closely with the RCMP to ensure that they have every resource required to do their vital work. Mental health supports and trust services are being made available now, and we will continue to expand that support as needed. We will remain engaged and we will remain alongside the community for as long as it takes. We will honor the people of Tumbler Ridge, and we will care for one another in the days and months ahead. And we will support this community in their time of need today and going forward. Thank you.
Just want to take the opportunity first to thank Premier Eby and the Minister of Public Safety for coming to the community, and the Federal Minister as well. One, to have boots on the ground. To you heard from the Premier, they attended the vigil tonight as well, and connected with community members and see the grieving that is starting to happen. I think that's important to have ministry and the Premier here and the federal government here. And the reason I say that is our community, which is a big family, we're one big family. We're going to need the support. And, reaching out to government after yesterday's big tragedy as it was coming across through the alerts on the phones and then as it was picked up as we were learning more and more as the event unfolded, I didn't even have, if we had fatalities, if we had people shot. The first thing the Minister of Public Safety reached out and I said, we're going to need counselors. We're going to need counselors, boots on the ground tonight or tomorrow. And I want to thank the provincial government. My understanding is today we had 5 counselors from Northern Health. We had 2 available at the community center for the families that have lost loved ones. We had 3 at the community health center for the rest of our community, for the family members of the community. I'm also aware the School District 59 has brought in counselors to support the teachers and the students. And I think that you can't thank the government enough on the quick action to get counselors on the ground working with their agencies. It is so important when we see a tragedy like this with young lives lost. Families don't have their children coming home last night. I think it was really, really important to see that, and I thank the government. They came right to bat, and I can't thank them enough for that. I did have, the minister had reached out yesterday as well, and I thank him for that too. And he made a commitment to come up and be at the community to, talk to our first responders and our medical professionals, our nurses, our doctors, and teachers. Everybody's going to be grieving in Tumbler Ridge, and we're one big family. And I can't say that enough. We're one big family, and my biggest thing I'd like to say to the community of the family we have here is, lend your ear when someone needs your ear. Lend your shoulder when somebody needs your shoulder. Give somebody a hug. It was talked about like that tonight at the vigil. And even though you're media and you've come to this community, I suggest if you're in a community for multiple days, feel free to reach out to our residents. Give them a hug. Please give them space though, but offer a hug. I know as media we look for those stories. We want to connect with the families that are grieving, and I ask that you give them space to grieve properly. I think there'll be time down in the future if those stories and families want to share those stories. But if I can ask anything of this media that's here today in Tumbler Ridge, is to please give the space to the people that are grieving, but feel free to offer a hug, and that might get a conversation going that helps you with your story, or you can get that story out of what the loss has meant to this big family of Tumbler Ridge. So really, if that is that one thing we can ask the media, I really do ask that. But again, please feel free to talk to residents and offer a hug. I think it's so important that we learn that, hugs help that grieving stage. But again, I want to thank the provincial government for honestly saying what they were going to do, and they did it. They had boots on the ground today. There was boots on the ground last night, as my standing as well. I want to thank our local MLA, Larry Neufeld, too. He's been in the community all day today. He was going to come down last night at 1 a.m., but it's best to wait and come in the morning. Mr. Zimmer, our MP, is also here, and I want to thank them. And our CMP, 2 minutes on scene. I mean, they've saved lives, and I just, we'll see stories unfold, but I just want to thank all of our teachers and all the students that, did what they went through on training and lockdown procedures, and followed what they learned in those training. And yeah, I just, again, my heart's with our community. And again, if people need an ear, please give them an ear. If they need a hug, give them a hug. But again, I want to thank the province, and we've had a great conversation tonight, and we'll dialogue. The dialogue will stay open, and I know that. So again, I just want to thank our responders, and anything we can do for our community to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you for joining us this evening in Tumbler Ridge. We will now take questions from the media. For any media here on site, please come over towards the speakers here and we will take questions. And for media on the phone line, please press *1 to enter the queue. And please remember to unmute yourself. Just once again, press *1 to enter the queue. We will start here in person.
Brenna Owen, Canadian Press. Premier, what do you know about the mental health interactions that police had with the suspect?
Hi, Brenna. I've been briefed by police by the head of the RCMP. It was a briefing on my role as Premier. Police will share information as they're able to. Within government, we've begun the process of reaching out to Northern Health to understand what interactions may have taken place. There are going to be a lot of questions going forward, trying to learn lessons, to do whatever we can to prevent a horrific event like this from happening again. For tonight, for the immediate moment, this is about the families, it's about supporting the families. My commitment to those families, the people of Tumbler Ridge, the people of BC, is that we will get answers for all of those questions. And we'll make sure that all of those questions are answered through whatever mechanism we need to. But for right now, our main goal, our priority is ensuring those families have the supports they need in the immediate term and going forward here in Tumbler Ridge. And as the days go on, to make sure that they have the answers that they're going to need.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Premier. I do want to ask, though, does it concern you that guns were taken away from this household only to be returned?
You know, I have a lot of questions. I know the people of Tumbler Ridge have a lot of questions. I'm sure the families have a lot of questions. And any time that there's violence, and especially involving children, we all want to do all we can to understand what happened and to make sure that we're taking any steps to prevent tragedies like this from happening again. Police are doing their investigation. As part of the criminal process that they go through, they will be able to share information with the public more and more as the days go on. That information will answer some questions, but it will probably bring others about contacts with the mental health system, about the guns, about other issues. My commitment to British Columbians is any questions that the police are unable to answer through the criminal investigation will ensure answered through the processes that are available to us as a province.
Hi, thank you. It's Alana Smith with the Globe and Mail. I think this question might be for the mayor if you're up to answer it as well. I wanted to ask you a bit about, obviously this is a small community, it has limited resources, including at the hospital. Can you take us through kind of the status of the healthcare workers in this area, if you needed to bring anybody in, and also for emergency services as well, anything that you needed to bring in to supplement the staff you already had?
Yeah, I can speak briefly to it. Again, I think Northern Health is a good contact to reach out to. Right now, we have a full-fledged of RN nurses at our clinic. Same with X-ray and lab. We are short on doctors right now. We're running two FTs. We are losing a doctor in March, so it'll put us down to 1.5 FTs. So I'm well aware, after the events unraveled yesterday, Northern Health had reached out. Minister Osborne had reached out. We had extra doctors that came into the community. BCHS had brought in an extra 7 ambulances. BCHS has also launched 2 fixed wings, Stars, and a chopper, I believe, out of Prince George through BC Ambulance. So I don't know how many doctors were brought in. I know for sure one, and I believe the gentleman came from Chetwynd. So the resources are within the region, and as the Tumbler Ridge moves forward with Northern Health to, recruit more doctors, it will stabilize our clinic. And we've talked with the provincial government, and they are working with us with that as well with Northern Health. And we just need to get back to the table with open dialogue. But that's my understanding. But again, Northern Health would be a good contact.
Thank you. And just one more question, which I think might also go back to you, Mayor, if you're able to answer it. I wanted to ask about mental health supports in the area, and this is also a question for the Premier. Do you think that the mental health supports that are here right now are adequate to serve this population? And is there anything that the province, the town is going to do to rectify that, make sure that there is an adequate amount of mental health services?
It is one thing that we know as elected officials within our community, that we are short on the mental health counseling and stuff. And I'm well aware that we have options, shared hours with Chetwynd. There's some shared visits. There's also via Zoom with that. Again, we've been working with the confirmation that we want boots on the ground. Not everybody wants to do Zoom, and sometimes it's with a different mental health crisis counselor, and it needs to be the same individual. And again, I understand not only the province of British Columbia, Canada, to me, the world is short on doctors and nurses, but also those specialties when it comes to counselors. But again, you've all been in this community. To me, it's God's paradise. I've had a tragedy, but it's God's paradise. To me, I can't see why a doctor or a nurse or a counselor would want to move here. And again, I think we just need to get back to the table and start looking at how do we get that amp back up within our community. Again, I spoke today about what the province had done with their other agencies, with Northern Health, School District 59, working with the Minister of Education, bringing those councillors boots on the ground. For sure today, I know they were here. I do believe, again, I can't confirm there were some last night, but I do believe they were mobilizing last evening. But we had 5 from Northern Health. I believe for sure 1 or 2 from School District 59. So again, what more can you ask when you have a tragedy that you don't expect to happen on Monday at a high school?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Your Worship. I just might take the opportunity for people who are watching or in Tumble Ridge or who need assistance. There are services available at the community center. The hours are from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. There are drop-in appointments available at the local health center. For those across the province that are feeling distress right now, or those who don't feel comfortable going in person, the Kids Help Phone is available, especially for young people. You text 686868 or visit kidshelpphone.ca. There's 310 mental health support at 310-6789. You can call for emotional support and mental health services. And the Foundry app is also available for young people. We have about 13 clinical workers who are on the ground now. You heard the Mayor talk about the counselors who are available. There are around 20 people providing additional support and coordination. It's clinical counselors and school district safety officers. There is Provincial Health Services Authority has a disaster psychological support team that's supporting local mental health services here in the community. And there's a child psychiatrist on call from BC Children's to provide remote specialist support. There's also Northern Health has stood up a free shuttle that will be traveling between Tumbler Ridge and Dawson Creek via Chetwynd for anyone needing support who's traveling between those communities in the coming weeks. As the Mayor has pointed out, this is an evolving situation, and we're doing all we can to get those supports on the ground here for people in Tumbler Ridge and the broader area.
And that concludes this evening's event. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thanks very much.